Yeah, good morning, Jeffrey. I've listened to quite a number of commentaries on this issue of real-time electronic transfer of results, and a lot of the information out there are actually not practicable in terms of what obtains during the election. And if you take a holistic view of the entire electoral act as it is, you find out that there are other provisions of the act that are not being looked into in discussing issue of real time. Those who want to protest, they have the right to protest, but I would advise that they should please save their energies. You cannot twist or force a legislation on a people because you do not occupy majority. The simple law or doctrine of democracy is that majority will have their way, minority will have their say. In the Senate, APC members are more. In the House of Rep, APC members are more. If you generate a cacophony of voices across the land in the name of CSOs and because you want a particular legislation, you have to take a holistic view of quite other things. And one of them is this. You say real-time transmission of election results at the polling unit center. Election results are not concluded at the polling unit center by virtue of the current electoral acts. When the Edo election took place, people were complaining that there were quite a lot of infractions here and there, particularly the opposition PDP. But they have forgotten that the returning officer at the polling unit does not have the power to cancel one vote, whether was wrongly computed, whether the ballot was invalid, whether he doesn't have that power. Until you go to the Ward Collation Center, under the Act, it gave the power to the ward returning officer, having scrutinized all the figures from the polling unit before they can take action. There are ballots that the thumbprint will cross the line. You can't decide whether it is valid or invalid until you get to the Ward Collation Center. There are accredited voters more than real voters and those who voted and all of that. There is what you call it, mutilation of election results or result sheet. All of these, they will package them together, and when they get to the Ward Collation Center, they will rectify them, and the Ward Collation Officer is the one who has that power under the Electoral Act to do so. So if you post result at the polling unit center to IREF, chances are that by the time that result goes through further scrutiny at the Ward Collation Center and the local government collation center, there may have been a difference of 10, 5, 15, 20, as the case may be. And by the time you sum up, you see people will continue to raise because they have been rigged election. What they posted at the polling center is not the same time as the World Collation Center. That is why we need to, if we want to do e-transmission real time, we need to also factor in those particular laws or sections that give power to ward returning officer and the local government returning officer to do the things I mentioned earlier. And again, we are not looking at the human infrastructure with respect to conduct of elections. People keep talking about real time. In Edo election 2024, when they were posting results on IREF, and we discovered that election of Governor Baseki in 2020 were being posted, into the IREF of INEC. Once it comes to technology, you are not the final say, especially in this age of artificial intelligence. People can do all kinds of things to manipulate. Prior to the 2023 election, INEC cried out that over 68 attempts have been made to hack into their IREF portal. We didn't listen to them. We thought it was all a fluke. But when the election came and there were glitches, that was the only thing we latched onto. So the point is, the human infrastructure must be right before you can talk about e-transmission.
Mr. Afegbua,
INEC operates with over 1 million